Young, well, who knew? Thank you, Frederick, for that report. Now, local artists could increase by 45% the royalties they earn if they enlist on online streaming services. Mdundo CEO Martin Nielsen says the play average time for Kenyan music has remained low, but this is likely to change in 2 years, driven by growing appetite for vernacular songs.
Over 80% of songs played in Africa are by African artists, while in Kenya about half of songs played are by locals. This is in contrast to the increasing popularity of African-style music, Afrobeats, which is the fastest growing genre in the world.
I do think that it's important that artists have choice. So I think policies on the area can also be a bit tricky, because then you might limit some options that might work well for some artists. Artists might sign away their rights, but you don't know what they're getting in return. So they might get something that's good for them and that they are happy with.
There's that disparity that we see based on Kenya being a very English-oriented country. So there's a lot of competition per se from what will be deemed as international catalog. So of course, as a Kenyan, if you're able to localize, hyper-localize, say you're from the coast, do more of those that orient or those that pull and attract and tell the story that is very local, well and good. But
online streaming services reckon this number could be boosted if more vernacular songs are listed on digital platforms.
I think it's important that there's a lot of different options for artists. And so I think what we're seeing right now is there's an entrance of all kind of different players, record labels, music services like ourselves, who are trying to give artists different options. I think what's the problem is sometimes the artists are tied into terms that they might not really understand fully, or might not really be fair.
He says as Kenyans continue to subscribe to streaming services, year-on-year revenue for artists would more than double. Hibak Said for Prime Edition.